Hello and welcome to the show. Yes, indeed, we do now have a Talbot Sunbeam on Forza Horizon 3. By far the most exciting car for me from the latest DLC, and there are a lot of good cars in the latest DLC. That includes the likes of the new ACR Viper, Mazda RX-7 and so on. Of course, though, the Talbot Sunbeam is fantastic, and not a vehicle I ever expected to see in a Forza game, but I am not going to complain. I like my little bit more obscure vehicles, and naturally, I am going to be taking it for a rally build. Now, it is a little bit different to the last vehicle that I took through the rally build, and that went fastest, the Lamborghini LM002. But yeah, we're going to see how this car will manage. Now we do have, and we are going to put on the vehicle, the option to have a kind of a wide body kit going on, slight sort of wheel arch extensions, and I believe that'll give us wider tyres, so we are going for that. We are also going to be making the vehicle all-wheel drive, as is the rules of this series. Engines we're going to come back to. I don't know what we're going to be doing with engines in this. We can have many lights, unfortunately. I would love to have many lights, however we need the downforce. We need the downforce on the car, but I'm really glad that there is the option to have many lights, and we will need the downforce on the back as well. Tyres, naturally, we are going to be on the off-road compound of tyre with some pretty decent sized 245s on the front and 255s on the rear. Pretty decent for a car this small, and that is going to be a very, very light indeed. Of course, I always want as bigger tyres as possible, but it shouldn't be too bad for this. And we are going to go through and stick all of these bits and pieces on here. And now gone and done that, we're probably going to have to change the engine in this car to get it up to the top of S1 class. Continuing with the handling parts. Now, it does start out only with about 150 horsepower, 150 torque, but it is very, very light. We'll go up into A-class so far. Having not touched the engine at all, we are up into A-class. We can do a aspiration add, really. We're going to go for a turbocharger in this, but I do think it unlikely we'll get the engine to S1. I'm going to give it a quick try here because, yeah, while it is very, very light, so the power that we do add into the car does jump the PI up very quickly. Not sure it's quite going to jump it up enough for 330 horsepower. A mighty 330 horsepower in this. Yeah, we're about 1,000 down on the Lamborghini. We're not going to do it with that standard engine. A bit of a shame, but that is the way it goes with these. Now, our other options, 2-litre i4 or the Turbo Rally engine. I quite like the Turbo Rally engine, but it's not going to work for this. Again, we're not going to get the power in the Turbo Rally engine. Now, we should get the power in this to get it to the top of S1. We will go for a turbo on this engine as well. And now we go back to adding on parts. Make sure to get the exhaust on. This engine a little bit heavier than the Talbot standard engine, but it's not too bad. We have again got the weight down to just over the 2,000 pound mark. So good power to weight ratio going on in this vehicle. We're going to have most of the parts on. This does give me a little bit of hope that this might possibly be able to challenge at the top with such a mighty power to weight ratio. Could we possibly see this really challenge the front running cars? I'm not sure. I think I did, yeah, I didn't quite put these bits on. So 27 horsepower added from that. We're not going to be able to get any more. 661 horsepower in this car. That's a lot for something as small and light as this. Oh, we can get 2 stages of flywheel on. That's nice. Probably go check, make sure that it has kept these bits and pieces on the car. Indeed, it has. Fantastic. Okay, so the Sunbeam is ready to go. I'm hoping, I would love to see this car go very, very fast around this course. Could have its issues. We will have to see. Of course, it is off to the Reservoir Trail with the Sunbeam. I will get 3 runs through this course to try and go as fast as possible. Our current leader, the Lamborghini, has a time of 2:31.2 for this car to try and beat. Now, we are likely to be bonkers on the acceleration front. I don't know quite when we are going to run out of acceleration. We have this much power and this little weight. Yeah, it's going to be really, really quick getting up to high speeds. The issue with this little weight and a tiny, tiny wheelbase could potentially be stability across some of the horrible, horrible bumps around this course. We have seen lightweight cars have their problems. Oh, the brakes are nice. The brakes are really nice on this. It really does get slowed down very well. We can probably make the most of that a little bit better into that section. Oh, of course, the other downside, you didn't really get it with the Lamborghini. This, of course, got to be very, very careful. The water will not be kind to the Talbot. If I dip a wheel in it, it is going to turn the car. Whereas with the Lamborghini, I could get away a lot more with that sort of thing. I'm trying to carry a mega speed through there. It certainly does feel fast through these sections. Get turned as we now run up the hill. We're going to soar through the air, quite a long way off course for the Sunbeam, but I am going to get it back, all pointing in the correct direction. Yeah, that's some pretty good jumping going on. Now, how far do we jump here? We don't, but I think that might be a little bit more to do with it getting a slightly awkward takeoff from that jump. I have now run very wide, got away with it, managed to bring the car back into line there as we now run up another hill, another big flight for the Talbot. It's not too bad on these landings, actually. We're not having too many issues. I have gone and binned it in the wall. That was, yeah, me pushing a little bit too hard with this car. I am liking it so far, though. I am liking it indeed. A big correction needed on the landing there. How do we do through here? Yeah, it's not too bad. Could have been a lot worse, actually, cutting through that water. Now comes some of the worst bumps you will face in Horizon, and I've binned it into a tree. Uh-oh, now we're in all sorts of trouble. I wasn't lined up at all coming down there. Okay, we had a scrappy end to this run. Oh, God, it's got all twitchy down there as well, which is not really what you want the car to be doing as we head around the... I've got to remember how good the brakes are on this. Having been driving that Lamborghini, which, of course, massive, heavy thing, the brakes are awful. This, very, very different story around the final corner. Considering a few offs and just general scruffiness on that run, not a bad opening time. This is definitely, I think, going to be challenging and scaring the top three. So, on to the second run with the Sunbeam. There's definitely some time to be found with this car. I love the acceleration. It is crazy fast accelerating up to almost 145 miles an hour before we hit the puddle. Can we be flat out? No, we cannot be flat out quite through turn one. A little bit too much understeer through there. It's close, and it certainly is quick through turn one, but we're definitely not going to be flat through that section. It is quick through the next turn. How late dare we be on the brakes? This car has got phenomenal brakes. The last two vehicles I drove, Tesla and the Lamborghini, both very large, very heavy. I mean, they were very powerful, so they were going quick in the braking zones, and that certainly didn't help. Not that the braking zones are massive around this course, but still, this is going to be able to brake so much later than just about everything, really, that has gone in this series. We are stuck out a little bit wide, but kept everything under control. Now, got to be a little careful here. Make sure we take out a little wider, because we really can't afford to go through the water. Ooh, or hit that fence. That fence is not fun. The fence is not fun at all. That's something else to be watching out for. In all of this series so far, I've not had a problem with that fence, because it's never run out that wide before. We're not seeming to jump too far on the climb up that hill. Now, I don't know if we're going significantly slow. It certainly feels like this thing is quick enough accelerating. Yet it hasn't got the thousands of horsepower, but it was far, far lighter than the Lamborghini and the Tesla. So I don't think it's going that much slower. Perhaps it's just not getting as much airtime across these. I mean, the Lamborghini was being launched really well. The suspension, I think, helping that car. Oh, we're out a little bit wide through there. Now comes the scary section in the Sunbeam. It is, I don't think, particular. The water's okay. It doesn't seem to be struggling It pulls the car sideways, like actually punching through it speed-wise is not too bad, but it's making sure we don't have one wheel in the water. That is the big thing with this car. These are the scarier prospects, though. The bumps in such a fast, very, very short wheelbase and light car, things can go wrong. I mean, they've already been off course once. This is not going to end happily for anything. Ah! Yeah. This is one of the things I feared with this poor car, is that once it starts getting twisted, you just can't correct it. It's going to swap ends on you. And that's not ideal as we round the final corner across the line with the Sunbeam. I fear there may be a bit too much power in this car. You're attacking the bumps with so much speed in such a tiny vehicle, making it a little bit uncontrollable. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate at the end. Well, we've still got one more run to try and drag a time out of the car. So it is a quick pray to the gods of Forza that we don't get completely screwed over on the bumps in this course as we set off for the final run in the Talbot. And I really do think the bumps are the biggest drawback, biggest hindrance to this car. It does feel pretty damn quick everywhere else, but the stability across the bumpy sections is quite scary. Really, I just don't have the confidence to push this car as much as, let's say, the Lamborghini or the Tesla. Right, get it slow down for the first of the dirt corners. Still really liking the brakes going on here. Now we've got to be, we've got to be quick through these turns, but I just daren't throw the car about as much as the Lamborghini. The back end will let go. Having such a tiny wheelbase across here does make the vehicle that little bit more twitchy. Now the Lamborghini was flat out the whole way down this section, and I'm not quite sure. Kind of can be in this, but the back end is, again, now we start wanting to let go as we fight our way across the bumps. Now it is great acceleration on the way up here. We are a little bit out wide. It's a bit of a heavy landing for the Talbot. Have got away with that. Change direction nicely at the bottom of the hill as we run up towards this next jump. He's jumping a little bit awkwardly across there. I'm not quite sure what is causing it, but there we go. Struggling with a tad with understeer, actually. Wasn't really expecting to see that going on with the Sunbeam, but there we have it. Across the next jump. So far, not doing too badly. Shouldn't probably have said that, because I know I've cursed myself. But we're not doing too badly with these bumps, but the worst are yet to come as we now head up towards our watery corner. Get the car turned. I am still going to stick it out a little bit wider through there. Actually got turned really nicely on the way into that section, and almost ended up having to take a really deep part of the water. Now I think we're just going to have to kind of lift for a fair segment of the way down here, because I just can't carry the speed, because this car accelerates so quickly and there are so many bumps down here. I just can't get on the throttle how I want to. Had a really big twitch on the landing, but thankfully I wasn't going so fast that I ended up in the trees or in the water or anywhere where I shouldn't be. As we round the final corner, we floor it towards the finish line. Not a bad time. Not a bad time from the Talbot. It's not quite up there challenging the fastest of the vehicles. I know where a lot of that is lost. It just can't carry the speed down that final stretch. The bumps are just too severe. I had to really lift for quite a lot of it just to make sure the car was settled. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the trees. And there are places earlier on in the lap as well where really do have to be cautious. You just don't have the confidence that the car is going to stay planted that I did have with the Lamborghini, with the Tesla, or with the Plymouth and so on. Yeah, just don't quite have that confidence. However, the acceleration is most definitely there. The Talbot is bonkersly fast in a straight line and under acceleration. Yeah, that is some serious speed going on. Not surprising with the car with this much power and this little weight. It's time at 2:34.9. Will put the Sunbeam up into fourth place. Not quite fast enough to challenge the top three. About a second down. Sorry, about 2 seconds down on the second and third place cars. However, it is clear of the R32 Skyline. It beats the Ferrari 166, the Subaru SVX. It is, yeah, a pretty solid rally car. Good fun to drive, I have to say, and I'm really glad to see a Sunbeam in Forza Horizon 3. It's a really cool addition to this game. I think this is a way too much power for one of these to be, I say to be enjoyable. I think with a lot less power would be a lot more fun to drive. It's too twitchy, especially on a course that is this brutally fast. It is too twitchy to really have confidence in racing the vehicle. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.